South Carolina death row inmate has been told to choose between execution methods. On Tuesday, South Carolina prison officials told death row inmate Richard Moore that he can choose between a firing squad, the electric chair, and lethal injection for his November 1st execution. State law gives Moore until October 18th to decide, or by default he will be electrocuted. His execution would mark the second in South Carolina after a 13-year pause due to the state not being able to obtain a drug needed for lethal injection. Moore, 59, is facing the death penalty for the September 1999 shooting, pew-pewing, of store clerk James Mahoney. Moore went into the Spartanburg County store unarmed to rob it, and the two ended up in a pew-pew out after Moore was able to take one of Mahoney's pew-pews. Moore was wounded while Mahoney passed away from a to the chest. He is appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court to stop the execution. Moore, who is black, is the only man on South Carolina's death row to have been convicted by a jury that did not have any African Americans. If he is executed, he would also be the first person put to death in the state in modern times who was unarmed initially and then defended themselves when threatened with a weapon, they said. South Carolina Corrections Director Brian Sterling said the state's electric chair was tested last month. Its firing squad has the ammunition and training, and the lethal injection drug was tested and found pure by technicians at the state crime lab, according to a certified letter sent. I'm going to get back to the article, but real quick, I just have to pause because it makes it so hard for me when I was reading this, the fact that this man is getting the death penalty for robbing a store and he went in unarmed. What does that tell me? I don't care if he was armed. I'm so sorry. I feel like for the most part, when people do, there's no alternative. Like, they need some money for whatever it's for. And because we live in a system, and I'm down this hill, capitalism, patriarchy, white supremacy, religion, those four oppressive systems are the root cause of all the things. Crime, well, I don't care what it is. Crime, I can't think of one problem where I can't trace it back to those things. And if this man had had enough to eat, or whatever the case may be, he wouldn't be in this situation in the first place, and we're going to take his life, which is so wild to me, because the people who are claimed to be pro-life, like, how is the hypocrisy, like, I don't understand. Okay, let's keep going. Freddie Owens was put to death by lethal injection in South Carolina on September 20th after a shield law passed last year allowed the state to obtain a drug needed for lethal injection. Before the privacy measure was put in place, companies refused to sell the drug. In the lead up to his execution, Owens asked the state Supreme Court to release more information about that stuff to be used to unalive him. The justices ruled Sterling had released enough when he told Owens, just as he did Moore on Tuesday's letter, that the drug was pure, stable, and potent enough to carry out the execution. Prison officials also told Moore that the state's electric chair, built in 1912, was tested September 3rd and found to be working properly. They did not provide details about the test. The firing squad, allowed by a 2021 law, has the pew-pews, ammunition, and training it needs, Sterling wrote. 3 volunteers have been trained to fire at a target placed on the heart from 15 feet. Moore plans to ask for Governor Henry McMaster, a Republican, for mercy and to reduce his sentence to life without parole. No South Carolina governor has ever granted clemency in the modern era of the death penalty. Moore has no violations on his prison record and offered to work to help rehabilitate other prisoners as long as he is behind bars. South Carolina has put 44 inmates to death since the death penalty was restarted in the U.S. in 1976. In the early 2000s, it was carrying out an average of 3 executions a year. 9 states have put more inmates to death. But since the unintentional execution pause, South Carolina's death row population has dwindled. The state has 63 condemned inmates in early 2011. It currently has 31. About 20 inmates have been taken off death row and received different prison sentences after successful appeals. Others have died of natural causes. And that's the way we're going to end the article. No more talk about that man and how jacked up the system is, and yeah, what his story was, why he was robbing the store, what got him into that situation, all that. Anyways, don't forget to hit those buttons over there. I hope your day doesn't suck. Fucking fire. I hope your day doesn't suck. Okay, love y'all. Bye.